And we're green. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. This is another edition of Hong Kong House of Cards Vampire Edition, where a social event will be occurring at the Elysium in preparation for the formal event that will be occurring on Monday. People will be gathered to talk and discuss things of mutual interest and importance in the city. And hey, there's somebody new that's going to be wandering in. Let's all have a good time, shall we? We'll go ahead and intro with Marcus, then we'll go to Lucian, then we'll go to Adriana, and then David can intro his brand new character. We'll just say that I'll hand wave that you met a really eccentric gangrel out in the woods and he told you about the Elysium.
Okay, so we are in fact at the Elysium. Got it.
Yeah. By the way, just for David's own fun, this eccentric gangrel will have red hair and will not mention anything about who he is.
I feel like there's a joke or a reference there I'm missing.
The prince is telling you to go to Elysium to meet the prince.
Oh, okay.
He's not telling you who he is.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Getting this party started off on the right foot. Marcus walks towards Elysium. He is dressed in his standard military gear, including his sword strapped to his side. If he is stopped for his weapon, he will stop and surrender it. Otherwise, he's just walking right on in.
You'll be, of course, stopped for your weapon.
Yep, he'll surrender it without any question.
All right. You'll notice that the keeper is, of course, walking around busy, like she usually is, talking over a headset.
Yeah, he's not going to bother the keeper. He's going to go find his usual seat, which I believe is now firmly established to be right next to the Harpy.
Yeah. And the Harpy will be in her usual seat, watching and listening.
Yeah. It's time for two sets of eyes to be doing that.
Yep. All right, Mitchell, go ahead, intro.
Lucian will come in and take his hair down and leave the excessively long knitting needle-sized chopsticks with whoever is there at the door before kind of sauntering in and adjusting his cufflinks.
All right, you'll see Marcus is there. You'll see that the Harpy is there. There's not too many people around tonight. Most noticeably, you'll notice that for everybody coming in, you'll notice that the Malkavian Primogen and his whip are there, as is Alexander Hawks, the Bruja Primogen. Mask is noticeably absent, as is Durains, and not a lot of other people. Of course, the guards that are the ghoul guards are walking around, of course, making sure everything's on the up and up. All right, go ahead, Adriana, to intro.
Adriana.
Yep.
She'll turn in her back and just sit. Yes.
Okay, so if Adriana will walk in and sit down, so everybody's in having a seat. Go ahead and intro for David Tiger.
Okay. A kind of a dirty-looking man. Definitely not human-looking. You know, pale skin and everything. Caucasian, wearing jeans and just a random T-shirt that both appear very ripped. Will walk in. Presumably being stopped by
Yep. You'll be stopped at the door. Guy's got aspects too. So it's gonna be 2 successes. That's enough to tell you're not alive. He'll motion for you to walk in.
He'll walk in.
You'll be stopped by another guy inside who will ask that you divest yourself of all weapons.
He'll just kind of pat himself down and then raise his hands.
Okay. He'll do perception alertness. Yeah, no bulges, no hidden weaponry.
No.
All right.
Oh wait, no. He will like think for a second, and then he'll pull out a small survival knife and hand it to the guy.
He'll take it and put it in a box. At this point, a blonde woman wearing a business suit will walk up to you. She's got a tablet in one hand, and she's got an earpiece in her ear. She'll walk up, tapping on it, and then go, "Welcome. I trust you realize this is an Elysium. I will need your name and your clan affiliation."
David Morris, Clan Gangle.
Gangrel, interesting. We'll make sure to get you affiliated with the rest of your clan within the city. Your current primogen is Dabao. Let's see. Have you ever been at any time a member of the Sabbat?
No, I haven't.
Just going to check to see if you're lying and fail that roll, but not botch. Anyway, let's go. Do you have any plans now or in the future to bring a shapeshifter into Elysium?
David's just gonna look at her like, "Are you fucking serious?"
She's got a completely dead, serious look on her face.
I tried to avoid him personally, so no. I'm gonna go with no for now.
Once more, check to see if you're lying. Perk empathy.
He ain't
You're-
lying.
Alright, so she'll mark that down as well. Do you currently have any other form of supernatural hunting you within the city?
Not as far as I'm aware.
She'll mark that down. I'm sure the harpy will have many questions for you. She's in the salon if you wish to speak to her. You'll probably need to get briefed on the situations going on in the city, and then she'll hold up to this and say, and she'll like hold a hand up to her ear where the headset is, and just go, "No, no." Well, I don't care how that sinkhole got there. Find a way to fix it. What do you mean it's in? Was it? You know you're supposed to let the prince know this stuff, right? Very well. Try to find a way to fix it. I hear it got lumped up to a terrorist attack. Anyway, please feel free to walk around the Elysium. You are, of course, welcome as long as you do no damage or bring no harm.
He'll just kind of give a double thumbs up and then just walk right past.
And she'll go walking on her merry. Alright, so new person walking into Elysium.
Oh, it's this asshole.
Marcus looks up from the book he's taken out and has been making notes in, notes the new person, and then goes back to his book.
At this point, Michelle will stand up and walk over to you. Greetings, I am the Harpy of this domain, Michelle LaBelle, Clan Toreador. Do you have any status or boons you need to record?
I was former primogen of a Northwest Arkansas domain.
She'll pull out a book. Name and clan, please.
David Morris, Gangrel.
Former primogen. What city?
Rogers. Rogers, in the U.S.
Okay. Are you owed or do you owe any boons?
Not that I recall.
I'll make sure to check in with the Harpies, find out if there's anything about you I need to know. She'll close the book up. Welcome to the domain. I'm sure the Prince or the Seneschal will be around shortly to give you hospitality.
Alright.
And she'll walk back to her seat and sit down.
At which point, David's just gonna walk to a random seat, sit down, and put his feet on the chair in front of him.
Is anybody going to do anything with it for about 15 minutes?
Probably gonna just sit around and chit chat.
Okay. Alexander, if you look at Alexander, he's seems mostly focused on the Malkavian Primogen, who is making his teddy bear fly with his hands. Yeah, 7-year-old Malkavian Primogen. Ari's a bitch sometimes. No offense, Ari. I love you. 7-year-old Malkavian Primogen, though. Just saying.
Oh, Adriana would have said hi.
He'll wave. Hi, Adriana.
Hi there, Samuel.
What ended up happening with your missing clanmate?
He died.
That's not good. Why'd he die?
Because the technocracy had him.
He'll blink. How did the technocracy get your clanmate?
You would have to ask my clanmate.
But he's dead.
Yes.
Okay. I think I know someone who can talk to him. So, after about 15 minutes, Liam will walk in wearing jeans. You recognize this guy as the guy you met in the forest. Wearing a jeans, button-down shirt, flannel jacket, or flannel zipper sweater. No, flannel jacket, actually. Never mind. Combat boots. He'll walk over and he'll start looking around.
Marcus automatically stands when Liam walks in.
Hi, good to see everyone. Having a pleasant night.
Fairly well, yes, thank you.
He'll nod his head. Mr. Drake, haven't had a chance to talk to you much since our first encounter. You should know I'm Prince.
At that point, Lucian will stand and bow very deeply.
He'll just chuckle at that. Well, it was me or it was Cuthbert, and everybody wanted me apparently. So, according to Mask, Miss Becker has become an Archon under Lucent. So, congratulations to her for her promotion. I don't know if I'll ever see her again, but so's the way it goes. So, he'll look over to Alexander. So, have you made Lucian your whip yet? Alexander will say, I haven't had the chance to actually talk to him about that. Well, you should probably do so. He seems like the right type for it. And then he'll walk over to David. Hi, see you finally made it, boyo.
Yep. So, you're Prince, huh?
Hi, Prince Liam O'Connor, Knight of the Order of the Knights Templar, Defender of the Faith, Protector of the Realm.
David Morris, no fancy titles.
Well, we can't all be born in the same century. So, probably should have asked you this originally, but what brings you to my city?
Yeah, just need a fresh start, you know what I mean?
There's plenty of fresh soil around here. Just, don't go near a Novatech. Marcus, War Master, could you join me, please?
Marcus will step smartly over.
He'll wrap an arm around David and say, this is David Morse, member of my clan. He's going to need a bit of an introduction and information about the city. the whole instances that we got going on here that's not exactly known to the outside world.
Adriana will then stand up. I can also help with that.
Aye, of course. Sorry to hear about your clanmate. I trust his ashes are being properly disposed of.
David's gonna raise a hand.
Hi, Mr. Morse.
I'm sorry, did you say Becker earlier?
Hi, Anemone Becker. She was the former prince of this domain. She was the prince when I woke up, at any rate. And she's become an archon under a Justicar by the name of Lucinda. I believe she represents the Ventru as far as being Justicar.
Yeah, sounds about right. About time she got a promotion.
You're familiar with Miss Anemone Becker, then?
Newer
Archon
Becker?
Becker, I should be saying. Sorry, I cut you off there. I didn't mean to. What'd you say?
We were back in the States.
Oh. I didn't know you American kindred knew each other.
I mean, some of us know each other. We don't all know each other. That'd be ridiculous.
Adriana's kind of gonna lean over and whisper to David. When he woke up, we forgot to tell him about the Americas.
How old is he?
Liam's gonna walk over and sit down on the throne, kind of resting a hand underneath his chin.
Before, small interruption.
Hi.
Seems like a
Out of character, small interruption.
Sure. What's up?
Before Liam actually goes towards his chair, Marcus will pass him a note that's written in Latin.
Liam will open it up and read it before he goes to sit down.
All right. That will detail the fact that Marcus has been going around to the other houses and gaining support for the Kill Zalish initiative, and has also gotten full support from the Sabbat. They will be allies on this rather than additional enemies.
He'll close up the note and put it back in his pocket. Good work, War Master. Proud to see you're taken to your new position in a quick fashion.
It is something I am used to, Principe.
You said you're from Arkansas?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Oklahoma originally.
I heard about something going on in Kowloon. Do you know exactly what happened?
Only what I have seen over the news. Some sort of cyber terrorist, as they call him, named Thin, was responsible for the destruction of a warehouse.
Oh no, that was the technocracy.
Yes, Myrmidon presence was confirmed by press pictures.
Aye, I'm sure they painted a glorious armored picture for the local pressers.
Just one odd thing about the sinkhole that the warehouse was over. There is no record of any ground disturbance there beforehand. And the records in Hong Kong go back centuries.
Because of what you just posted, I'm going to have you jump on Mirsha really quick. Liam's going to look over to Mirsha. Sheriff Basarab, something you'd like to add to the rest of the discussion?
I do not know what exactly happened there, but I can tell you that night I felt a very strong presence that should not have been summoned here.
What kind of presence are you talking? At this point, you'll hear a voice coming from out by the garden. An elder daemon. Is that not correct, Mr. Basarab? And you'll see a woman walk in dressed like a Celt priestess.
That would be correct. May I ask your name?
I am called Liliana. At which point, Liam turns around, rushes the girl, picks her up in his arms, throws her into the air, and catches her, setting her back down. Liliana, why'd you not tell me you are here? I was told the rest of the order were dead. Only those that we chose not to tell. I'm sorry. I've kept my presence from Bartholomew for a long, long time. Well, I have to tell you all about it. Now, come over here. I want you both to tell me exactly what happened.
Adriana's already pulling up pictures on her tablet, and she's just gonna hand the tablet off to Mirksha.
Yeah, Adriana, out of character, Adriana should have the full story as far as the mages were able to get,
Yeah.
which is only like 3/4 of the battle.
For anyone, because I've only had one person actually interact with this NPC so far. She is Celt, pure Celt, so brown hair, brown eyes. She's wearing a hide dress and bone charms, and she has woad all over her body.
So you could say she's fully dressed.
Yeah, pretty much. So, for those keeping track, the Holy Knight greeted her like an old friend and threw her in the air. So, yeah.
It's just not even surprised at this point.
Yeah, no, like Adriana has learned that the dude that's making the cathedral flesh was his buddy too, so
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, okay, there's another one.
But yes, a very powerful elder demon that is venerated by certain members of my clan was apparently summoned that night.
There's a video after the pictures too.
Liliana's going to walk over. Daemon is probably the wrong word. It's the word that the Carpathians use. A spirit would be more akin to what it truly is. You've always been kind of sensitive to that stuff, Liliana. So, is it safe to assume that whoever made the sinkhole was the one that summoned this thing?
It's very possible. Generally, to summon that spirit, you must be very powerful and very well acquainted with other spirits.
Are the pictures of the incident within Marcus's view?
Well, Nature has the tablet, so
Yeah. He's standing up. I mean, possibly. I don't know where you're at exactly. But he's standing up with the rest of the formal court.
Liam's not going to look over your shoulder because he considers that rude. Instead, he's going to walk over and take his seat. I'd like people to go out and find answers from the other members of the Tarot Council. See what they know about this. See what actually happened in Kowloon, because I don't know what a cyber terrorist is, but it doesn't sound like someone that can summon a daemon and, create a hole in the ground.
I may have a few ideas.
Oh, care to share with the rest of the class, Miss Ramirez?
I was trying. She'll point towards the tablet. It has a video of this haven. Or who was it? Did Zelisa actually show up on the video?
No, it was Salish himself never actually showed up. It was just his cathedral, and even then, you only got like a small view of a part of it.
You got the door and what the door could do. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, some very stupid people tried to attack a flesh crafter's haven. I'm not sure what it's called.
May I see?
Rachel will hold the tablet up over to him.
Marcus will start watching the video.
And then,
Lucian will stand and ask, do you mind if I peek over your shoulder?
Marcus just shakes his head as he continues to watch. And about halfway through the video, PTSD roll, please.
What you need? Or if Brett wants to take care of it, you can.
Sure.
Okay.
What's your willpower?
7. I don't even have to look. I just remember that.
You blow that shit out of the water, man. That's 310s.
Okay, Marcus's cheek twitches, but otherwise he's okay. Those words are nice and strong still.
And I was speaking to the not technocrats anymore. The orphan. That's what the orphan mages. That's what Jason said to call them. I was talking to the orphan mages that used to be technocrats, and they believe that the technocracy caused this sinkhole once they captured Finn. Finn? Is that his name? I think that's his name.
Finn, according to the documentation, the other survivor was not named.
Is it safe to say that both of them pose a threat?
They presumably have information of the various supernatural groups in the city, the Tarot Accord, and information is a very powerful weapon. So yes.
Find out from the other supernaturals. Extrication or annihilation?
Did Adriana get told about the SRS?
If it was part of the data stream that the techno mages got, then she would have been told about it.
It wasn't on the data stream, if I remember correctly.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
that all
happened
happened after Zahn died. Yeah.
Wait, I recognize this one. And he taps the screen where Zahn is.
Oh yes, he died.
Who died?
Zahn.
Hey. Well, guess I don't have to answer his letter then.
Apparently he got upset that we didn't show up in the morning. That they went to do this.
Aye, because we all like to take a walk in the sunshine now, don't we?
I was considering withdrawing support from him, considering he was not kind to my mercenaries.
Well, seems like that's no longer an issue.
No, it does seem to have nicely solved itself.
So let me get this straight. He took 3 people with him to go attack a vampire as old as I am, that's been awake longer than I have, to fight him in his own home.
Yes. He was told not to do the stupid thing. But he did the stupid thing anyways.
He does call himself a god, so this is not surprising.
Arrogance.
He called himself a little god to me, but, well, you'll hear a slight chuckle from Liliana. Gods and monsters. They always think they know best, don't they? I wonder which one he really was.
Stupid, from the looks of it.
Very stupid, I can attest.
The others look like they were nervous most of the time. He just charged in without a second thought.
If he had bothered to wait for myself and Brother Bartholomew, he may have actually lived.
His last words were, "I'll come back and kill you."
Hey, Mirsha, how do Zemis typically take that kind of threat?
They summon goddamn Kupala and have Kupala eat their soul.
Nom 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 nom.
If they have the capability.
Which that one did.
Yeah. Mircha is just going to twitch slightly. May I see those pictures again?
She'll pull up the pictures of the door and the screenshots, and she'll actually point towards the bookmark that starts where the doors are.
He will look at them, and even
Oh.
though he doesn't need to breathe, he will exhale very, very loudly and for a decent amount of time.
Do you know the name of this thing?
That's what we call in the Carpathian Mountains a cathedral of flesh.
Why
The
does
other
it sound
people
like
say-
a sanctimonious, unholy bastardization of a cathedral?
Because it is.
Oh, I was right about something.
That
I
would
like that.
explain the sinkhole. If the cathedral was destroyed, it would have left behind nothing but air.
What were you saying, Richard?
Given that there's nothing that it is a very good chance that the cathedral is still around, possibly having moved and is reconstructing itself.
I don't think it's moved. I think he's building a new one. In 24 hours within the attack, there was 30 missing person files reported.
This Zalich moves quickly.
You see both Liam and Liliana exchange very upset looks, and Liam will stand up and walk out to the courtyard, and Liliana will follow behind him.
They're just gonna look at everyone else and then follow.
Marcus will follow, but at a respectful distance.
Yeah.
I guess Adriana will follow too. Where are you going on your trip? You're my favorite rocket ship.
It's just gonna follow the slight shrug. He has no idea what the hell's going on, but every time he shows up in the city, bad shit happens. Like me.
Is Lucian going to follow too?
Yeah, may as well.
So outside you hear, in a language that sounds very close to both French and German, Liliana and Liam having a heated conversation in which Liliana seems to be trying to calm down the prince, whose eyes are starting to glow gold.
Mircha will turn to the two. Say, Prince Liam, I know this is not. I know who's your friend. I know this is not something you wish to do, but something needs to be done.
Liam will turn. Liliana will place a hand on the prince's shoulder. Aye, that it does.
That is precisely why I am gathering a war council of all of Vitero.
This meeting needs to happen sooner than later.
All I have left to meet is the alpha of those whose skins shift and the prince or king Dartmouth.
You have their information for contact.
I do. My findings have been quite helpful along the way. The current mage speaker has offered explosive support as well. He recommends we take Zalich on outside of his domain.
Obviously.
Yes, generally, fighting a flesh crafter is much easier when they're not surrounded by living flesh that they're in control of.
Liliana will say, there are 3 people in this city that can act as bait to draw out Zalich.
3.
Liam will nod his head. He'll then look at Liliana. You've remained hidden. Why have you finally revealed yourself? And Liliana will say, the augury said it was time for me to step out of the shadows after all these years. Well, the first thing you're going to need to do is go find Bartholomew and apologize. you know, besides his own sister, he thought of you as a sister as well. And when he thought she had died, he was broken. His faith sustained him, though. Go on. I'll send a message for him to meet an old friend at a place of my choosing, and he'll write down an address for her and then text it to Bartholomew, and she's going to walk off.
I am starting to believe less and less in coincidence. There are 4 vampires here who can claim to be over 1,000 years old.
At which
that
point,
does not include Salish.
Liam will nod at that.
Why are 4 of us in one place instead of scattered to the 4 winds?
Out of character, who are the 4?
Liam, Marcus, Bartholomew, and Liliana.
Okay.
So Zalish is technically 5, but he's not counting Zalish.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Just making sure.
Well,
Some reason I thought you were counting Mircha. I was like, no, he's only like 200, 300. But-
So, David, I'm sure you've heard of the word. It's called a tarot card.
Mm-hmm. Is this some kind of crazy pagan bullshit?
No, it's
So I swear to God, if somebody called me the goddamn fool again. someone's
Do
gonna
not
blush.
blaspheme, I will thank you.
Fair enough. What are you saying?
Liam will motion to everybody. Do your best to educate him. I need to go for a walk. And he'll head out the door.
the tarot accord is a big fancy group of every type of supernatural in the city working together. And it's my job to keep it from getting out of the city.
So don't black about it. That's all I'm hearing.
Yes.
Alright.
You're taking that surprisingly well.
Ain't the first time someone said, hey, don't tell nobody anything or I'll try and kill you. I mean, it hasn't worked for him, but
Oh. This is the longest I have seen a accord between types last since the days of Roma.
It seems interesting but foolish.
Given the enemies we face, I would doubt in its foolishness. Allies
No,
of
I mean-
convenience are still allies.
The need for secrecy is not actually a need.
You'll hear a voice from behind you. But then the masquerade would invite our destruction for having this happen. And you'll turn around and you'll see Mask is standing there. All black robes and shiny steel mask.
I think
who's this guy?
this is Seneschal?
Yep.
This is Seneschal Mask.
That depends on personal interpretations of the first tradition.
Mask will nod his head. Of course. Everything is open to interpretation. Except for Rite of Progeny and Rite of Destruction, of course. And he'll step down into the courtyard, putting his hands behind his back.
Those are leftovers from the old days.
Hospitality thing.
When I was young, anyone who exposed themselves to mortals paid the price themselves, and no vampire would help them.
If you're taking a literalistic stance, then yes, this accord does breach the first tradition. But then we're all guilty of that. Secondly, there are groups that already know of our existence without our interference, or there's nothing we can do about that. So one would argue that while a literalistic approach to the first tradition is very strict, a more loose interpretation, which includes these other individuals,
Also,
could be applied.
the city You'll run into a wall built by the technocracy and you'll turn into ash.
Mass will nod his head at this. Yes. However, there are way too many literalists out there that would be more than happy to turn this city into rubble. Not to mention the ones in the Innovatech Tower.
See, that's why my position is important.
Will nod his head.
Things like Zalish are why I am here.
Yes. I noticed that our prince was leaving in a very sour mood. I assume the topic of Zalish got brought up again.
It would be inevitable with the recent findings.
Yes, I heard about that. A sinkhole doesn't appear in Kowloon without the Nosferatu finding about it first.
He's unexpected.
Oh,
Let's make sure.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get there with Fluffy in time.
well, the technocracy created the sinkhole at what did you call it? The Cathedral of Flesh.
The cathedral's leaving would have created the sinkhole.
That would probably be the most accurate assessment. But the funny thing is that was a steel-reinforced fallout shelter. I know because it was one of the places I'd first scouted as a potential evacuation site for the Elysium, should things happen with the House of Swords. Apparently, I was not quick enough to acquire it. Probably for the best, is if I had been there when Zalish took it over, I would probably be dead, or at worst, part of his collection.
There was a Hessian that became part of his collection.
Then that would likely mean that Zalish knows everything that Hessian knew. Am I correct?
David's gonna raise a hand.
Yes, David.
What's a Hessian?
They call themselves the little gods of Asia. They answer the prayers of the people and give them boons. They like to think of themselves as immortal. I don't know if it's true or not. If his body died, he could have moved. If he was a spirit, he could have moved to another vessel.
So the skeevy fucker has access to just about everything that guy knows.
Yes,
If
the
he was-
Zemis I believe the Zemis were the pioneers of kindred torture. Not
So
a pleasant thing.
Presumably,
No.
he knows the board and the council and everything.
The Zemits were not the pioneers of kindred torture. There is a far darker clan for that.
A clan whose name is probably best not spoken.
Marcus's expression remains almost on the verge of scowling, and yeah, he is not saying anything further on that.
So, how goes the war effort?
Only the Alpha and the King remain untouched by my words. Everyone else has pledged what support they can.
Well, this Zalish is not a pleasant individual. I was unfortunate to have to help deal with the matter of Celeste and Chloe Masters.
What?
Oh, I forgot. You're new to the area. The Infernalist invasion that happened, the two instigators were a Zemise named Celeste and a Bruja who called herself Veronica
They're
Masters.
They're dead, right? They're dead. D-E-D, dead. Done.
Yes.
Dead. Show me the
Celeste-
ashes.
I cannot, unfortunately. However, she was Chloe did come back as a wraith and then was promptly destroyed.
And you're sure they're dead.
I'm getting the sneaking suspicion that you've run into these individuals before.
If I have to fight them again, I'm taking a lot of unnecessary people with me.
Understandable. I will say as much that according to the House of Pentacles, Celeste was erased from existence.
Good.
As for Chloe, I know that she became a wraith. That's about it.
Dust was also erased from existence.
What? What? Okay.
Yes, Dust was here helping to fight his infernal sire.
And then she got erased from existence, so that means he didn't exist in the first place, which is really confusing.
Marcus's cheek is twitching.
According to the House of Pentacles, because we exist in a state that is neither in this time or out of this time, our memories of the individuals remain intact, regardless of if they never existed.
Well, how it was explained to me, and I'm quoting this directly, is mage bullshit.
That sounds accurate.
Yeah, no, that definitely does.
Yeah, I believe it.
A blessing from the one who first made us, that we are immune to their mucking about with time.
The Tremere once told me that mage bullshit is even more bullshittier than Tremere bullshit. So I definitely buy that.
Maskell just kind of smile. Well, you can't tell because he's wearing the mask, but there's definite mirth in his posture. And in regards to Tremere bullshit, we have experts. And he'll motion to Adriana.
Hey, I'm cutting it. Some. I'm trying.
Regardless, Celeste and Chloe should not be bothering us again.
Good.
And their nefandous proteges are gone. I believe Miss Carlson has promised that she will do whatever she can to make sure the Nefandi do not return.
Good.
Oh, that reminds me. Somebody's trying to knock down the wards, keeping demons out.
The wards that your Blackfriar allies spent so much time building. What were their names? Lutrice, Karamazov, and Dunstan, correct?
Yes. Arthur tried to fight the person that was there, and he let the soul of the moon take over his body and nearly died. No, I don't think that's. I'm not sure. It's more mage bullshit.
It was just
So
kind
that
of
was the disturbance near my docks. I
Yes,
had to keep my entire mercenary crew on the ship for a week.
Yes, if I recall correctly, Father Dunstan's location for the warding was a lighthouse near the docks. Supposedly, they buried powerful artifacts. Do we have an idea as to the culprit?
What Arthur remembers was a lot of lightning. So,
very, very frightening.
Galileo.
Well, perhaps this Arthur needs more questioning.
the last I was told he couldn't even talk English.
I'm sorry, what?
The last I was told he couldn't speak English.
Is this the silver individual?
Yes.
He'll just kind of shake his head. I
I
grow...
can talk right quick.
What?
See if that works.
What'd you say?
She said she offered to call him.
Well, whatever information you can garner, that would be helpful, I suppose.
She'll flip open her phone and dial Arthur.
The phone will pick up. Miss Ramirez, to what do I owe the dubious pleasure of disrupting my convalescence?
Oh, I was expecting to reach Arthur. I was going to ask him about
This
what
is
happened.
Arthur.
Huh?
This is Arthur.
Oh, okay. Um,
I'm sorry, I'm still having trouble adjusting to, speaking again.
Brett, out of character, gonna want to talk to you about possible future storyline. I have an idea.
Okay, yeah, we can do that at a later point.
yes, we need to talk about what happened when the ward was being taken down. I,
You okay, Ben?
Stretching.
Yeah, I didn't really get a good look at the guy, mostly because there was wind, rain, and lightning. I know that I got hit a couple of times by lightning bolts, and that's not fun. Then I summoned Luna into my body, and that's the last I remember until I woke up, unable to even communicate normally. God damn it, those things need to leave me alone. Yeah, that actually does get said over the phone.
so a storm attacked you? Can roll intelligence Tremere lore?
Sure.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah. He
Oh,
said
she's
he
on the
got it.
phone.
He said he got, yeah. So I don't know if she's got him on speaker or not, but
Yeah, she'll have
I've
him
got
on
off. I'm
speaker.
good.
okay. Yes, there is thaumaturgy that can control the weather.
Oh, do I have to roll for that?
No, because I know you've actually seen it firsthand.
Okay.
Mm, what was? Did you? Okay. Did you get a chance? I know this is a very slim chance that this happened, but did you get a chance to see if he was alive?
No, I was too busy trying to shapeshift back from being a bird. That's when the wind and rain started to overtake me. It's kind of hard for me to see as a bird, which is weird because I keep hearing about things called bird's eye views. Totally doesn't make sense.
Okay. Thank you, Arthur. You've been very helpful.
No problem. And then you'll hear some kind of weird trolling noise, and then he'll hang up the phone. Basically, he's telling an ancestor spirit to leave him alone.
Exasperated.
Is everything all right, Mr. Ramirez?
Thaumaturgy.
You mean it was a member of your clan?
Don't think it is, but
There are tales of others who can use similar arts.
Any of
Max
our
is gonna
kind,
look at the Bruja that just said that.
any of our kind that takes the mind and soul of another might be able to do such thing.
Well, I am probably speaking out of turn here, but I know for a fact that we have fought before followers of the Serpent God who have wielded unnatural abilities.
The Africans.
yes, because no natural abilities in this day and time are so natural, like throwing lightning and pulling blood from people's bodies with our teeth.
Yeah, that's what I do all the time. That's how I spend my Tuesday nights, just chucking lightning like Zeus in the Hercules movie.
Mask is gonna look at David and say, "I'm Mask Seneschal, and you are."
David Morris, Clan Gangrel. I don't have any fancy titles here, but I was a permanent.
That explains the flip attitude. Interesting. Wasn't there somebody in this domain that came in that was a Haitian?
He is an ally at this point.
An ally.
I have made a treaty with the Sabbat. They hate Salich as much as we do.
Wait, didn't I try to get told about the Stygian still?
Did you?
I remember her asking what's the deal with the piece of whatever it was.
I don't remember that, to be honest. Sorry. Mask will just say, so, we are allied with the Sabbat. Tell me, was he Sabbat? The Haitian.
Out of character. I believe so. But my memory is like a sieve, so kind of need reminding.
He never said he was a member of the Sabbat. He said he was working for the Sabbat.
He says he told me he was working for the Sabbat. I do not know if he has full membership or not.
What's up, Tiger?
I'm gonna roll an intelligence Sabbat lore to see if I recognize anyone called the Haitian.
Okay.
Anything?
Not really, because I will say that there are vampires that hail from Haiti that have on occasion been aligned with the Sabbat.
Okay.
But you don't know what they're called.
It's like trying to find that Middle Eastern man named Rahim.
I was more so just wondering, like, yeah, is there one who just calls himself the Haitian
Oh, no.
who is Sabbat?
No, but that will actually prompt another lore roll, so roll it.
Roll it again.
Another lore roll. That whole thing about possibility of somebody being known as the Haitian.
Which lore? Because it could change. how much
Sabbat
that-
lore.
Okay.
8, that's good enough. You've heard of a Haitian vampire that supposedly can wield incredible magics, known as the Force Walker.
David is gonna look at Marcus and say, "Ask him if he knows a Force Walker."
That would require me to go to Kowloon at this point in time.
Well, then I don't blame you for not asking.
I am fairly certain the Sabbat are already running around like chickens with their heads removed, trying to contain the situation on their end. They are very short-handed.
Yes, we've worked hard to make sure that happened.
And now you have fewer allies.
They
Well-
weren't always our allies.
In a perfect world, they wouldn't be now.
That's correct.
In a
yes.
perfect world, there would be no Sabbat and no Camarilla.
Well, we saw what happened in the Inquisition occurred, so we had to do what we had to do. The main concern I have is the remaining 2 ward posts. Are they still intact?
Yes, and okay, no, out of character, they were being guarded, but
I think Chris Renner was told that.
yeah, like, I'm just trying to remember who's guarding them.
Humans.
The other two, the other two, pillars are being guarded.
Guarded by who?
Out of character, I cannot remember for the life of me, but law name.
Priest from the convert is who are guarding them right now.
Okay, they're priests. Yeah, she'll just say that.
Mask is going to look at everybody and say, "So, we have an enemy that took down one of the most powerful magi in the city, and the other two ward posts are being guarded by human priests.
I could add my mercenaries to the cause if you wish. They would at least be armed.
Um,
If we could have them be inconspicuous, that would be better."
Easily done.
Right. Mask will pull a piece of paper out of his pocket and write down 2 addresses and hand them. Those are where the other 2 ward posts are.
Marcus looks them over. Is it okay to use a radio in here?
Yes, that's fine as long as you do nothing to damage the masquerade.
Very well. And he'll turn away and start talking into brick radio to the coordinator on his ship to get his mercs in plain clothes with concealed weapons at the 2 locations.
oh, tell him, something about. Can we say that Bartholomew sent them since Bartholomew set this up?
If it's necessary, I suppose so.
So that the priests know that they are friends.
He'll nod and then nod to Marcus if you would care to relay that information.
Marcus pauses for a moment, starts talking again in Italian, back into the radio, and then nods. Unfortunately, my men need to eat and send money home to their families. After this, they will need to be paid. I am sorry that I cannot give it as charity.
No, that's understandable. I have access to certain coffers that I can pay you from.
I am grateful.
At which point, Mask will then look to Adriana. Is there any chance of getting the Black Friars back?
I'll have to ask my sire. I believe she was the one that arranged it in the first place. So, I'll ask my sire and then get in communication with the Blackfriars.
Very well. Anything you can do could help, because we will probably need to restore that missing pillar as well as reinforce the others. My
I think I
thinking,
could get a
though,
hold of some more artifacts as well.
my one query is, the ward posts were designed to repel any demonic energy of the fallen from entering the city, as well as depower those in the city who gain their powers from the fallen. Who destroyed the ward posts?
Well, I'm not sure about that, but interesting fact. There's this thing, I believe it was called a tower or something that somebody was drawing their infernal powers from. Tower of Oblivion.
It was called the Tempest Tower.
Yeah, but she heard it referred to as the Tower of Oblivion, so that's how she's thinking about it.
Out of character doesn't lead to Cold Harbor.
I didn't.
Lol. Bad.
Well, maybe maybe these guys are just working with demons, or people worship demons. They may not know it. They just got told by whoever's in charge, say, "Hey, go fuck up this tower or whatever."
Demons are bad. Demons
Yes.
are very bad.
Demons are bad. I agree with you.
We just had it warded only a few months ago against demons.
So it's possible this individual has been in the city the whole time, and somehow was able to avoid having their powers lost.
The tower. Tower of Oblivion? From what I understood, it was stealing people's souls and using it as building material, and it was granting the powers that they needed, but I heard it was destroyed. I offered to help, but they decided to tell me the day after.
Wait, are we talking about ghost shit now?
No. It's
Yes,
a
actually, if I recall correctly, this had to do with wraiths.
Okay, so demons and ghost shit. God, it's like I'm home again. Okay, if you will all excuse me, I am going to go put in an order for several industrial grade super soakers. I will be in touch. You guys have a great night.
You as
He'll,
well,
like,
Mr. Drake.
put his face in his hand and turn around and just kind of walk out while shaking his head.
As Drake's leaving, Mask will perk up. There is the added benefit of the danger of the technocracy in the city. I do not believe Paducah ever had that issue.
That is new. I appreciate something fun and exciting. He'll just continue to walk out.
Dave's just gonna smile. I like that guy. He's got his head on straight.
It's a rare thing in this city, unfortunately.
See, I'm trying to get that way. It's a little difficult.
Marcus just looks like he's in deep thought about something.
Oh, goodness, David.
Hmm?
I don't think that the prince. I think the prince forgot to grant you hospitality before he left.
Did the prince seem to approve of his presence?
Yes.
Then he granted him hospitality. I'm starting to pick up on the nuances of our new prince. However, to make it official, Miss Harpy, and he'll call into where Michelle is, and Michelle will perk up. He is granted hospitality by Prince Liam O'Connor by my authorization as seneschal. Okay.
No, I guess I was granted hospitality a while then, because I just kind of found him in the woods and he told me, hey, here's Elysium. Go there. Seemed like a decent guy.
And he neglected to inform you of his true nature?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I have to go down to somewhere and see about something. Have a pleasant evening. And
Marcus looks
Hill.
to Mask. I will keep in touch.
of course, War Master. Good evening.
No,
So,
And for Mask, if he knows, the fact that Marcus is saying that he will keep in touch with him is a huge thing.
yeah. But Mask does his best not to seem impressed by anything. Because he's a good seneschal.
Yeah, Marcus is basically going, this shit is way too important.
Well, try to speak to the other supernaturals. Find out what you can about what's all happened. And keep me apprised. Or the prince. Or the primogen. Or the sheriff. Really,
Or,
there's anybody that matters. Have a pleasant night.
Marcus looks to Adriana. I will work on more of the treaties if you will work on the past.
I'm sorry, what?
I will work on more of the treaties if you will take up what I cannot of the past.
Okay,
Basically, he's asking if Adriana can take care of the research into what happened while he takes care of making sure everyone's on board.
Okay. Yeah. He'll just start compiling another folder in her little tablet. I need to stop naming these folders bad shit that happens. I can't tell them apart anymore.
That's when you start arranging them by like when the bad shit happened, like bad shit that happened this hour of this day of this month.
You could always just keep a book like I do.
That's true too. Old school sometimes best. This guy would know.
Marcus just has this weird smile on his face when he says old school's best. And then Marcus will turn, nod to the others, and start for the door. Because
Are
he
we-
has shit to do.
Do we want to call it?
Yeah. I think
Alright.
that's a pretty good spot with everyone heading out.
All right, so thank you, players, for playing. I didn't notice any watchers, but that doesn't mean there weren't any. So thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another edition of Hong Kong House of Cards. Have yourselves a great night. And always remember, what happens in Hong Kong should stay in Hong Kong. Sometimes it doesn't, though. But it really should. So stop spreading stuff. Have a good night.